That segues into our topic too, by the way. Actually, really well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Today's topic actually is perfect. It's literally titled it "Life Rewards Action, Not Intelligence: Why Smart People Stay Stuck." Definitely will resonate
You
with you.
can also, for the beginning of your video, you know how Hippo was saying like 5 seconds, and then slowly speed it up with the tempo going up in music to like a film reel, since that's what you went to LA for anyways. And then that'll match into what you want to talk about when it comes to that kind of stuff in LA.
You can
Yeah,
put your own twist
exactly.
on
And
it. Yeah.
that's the thing that I had mentioned was um build up the intensity with the music to make it sound like something like really positive and triumphant, like, yeah, it all worked out. Look at me now. And then it all cuts
Yeah.
and like it's a smack
Yeah.
which you just sitting in my empty living room and the music cuts out and I look at the camera and be like, yeah, that's not how it worked.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll start this and then we'll go
So I'm
open
getting
forum
there.
as usual. Yeah, I'll keep asking you, bro, every single day, making sure you're getting after it because we all want to watch
Dude,
it.
I need that type of pressure. I try to apply it to myself, and sometimes I'm successful, sometimes not so much. Sometimes I
Yeah.
let things get to me.
Believe me, we all deal with that, dude. It's normal. It's easier to let yourself down than it is others. That's the weird part about it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it should be the
I
reverse.
Yes.
hate I hate letting other people down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm an editor. If you want to throw any of your videos my way, just to have somebody take a look at it, I'd be happy to do that. You know,
There you go.
I
before
will
you publish.
definitely take you up on that.
Definitely do it. An editor is absolutely key. Believe me. All right, let me get through this topic and then we'll open it up. Remind me about the editor thing because I was experimenting with some of my own videos and we'll see. That'll be for later classes. But anyway, so it was life rewards action, not intelligence. And if that pisses you off, you're probably proving my point. And, a lot of guys kind of get some light bulbs with some of these. It says the smartest guys I know are often the most stuck. They can analyze every angle of a problem. They'll predict 17 different ways things could go wrong and explain in detail why now isn't the perfect time to start. Meanwhile, some average dude with half of their IQ is already 3 months into building the thing they're still planning. And for our YouTube speak, that's basically guys sitting in the car talking with like horrendous fucking cameras and sounds and just telling a story. All right. So it really could be that simple if you just don't overthink some of the stuff. And here's what's happening. For the smarter ones, the smarter you are, the better you get at making excuses. Your brain becomes this expert excuse making machine that finds reasons why whatever you could do right now is too small, too risky, or not worth your time. And while you're busy being brilliant about why you can't start, life's passing you by. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of doing something because you could see all the ways it might go wrong? How many opportunities have you missed because you were waiting for the perfect moment? Your intelligence isn't helping you here. It's screwing you over. Smart people love to plan. They love to research. They love to think through every possible scenario. But all that thinking just becomes a way to avoid actually doing anything at all. The guy that spends 6 months researching the perfect business idea never starts a business. And the guy who analyzes every workout program for weeks will never get in shape. The guy who thinks through every possible conversation with his partner never actually has the conversation he needs to have. Meanwhile, the guy who just starts figuring shit out as he goes is already making things happen. George Leonard, if you guys know who this is, he's the guy that brought jiu-jitsu from Japan to America. Said something that changed how I think about this kind of topic. You can't do everything, but you can do one thing, and then another after that, and then another, and you keep going. That's really it. That's like the secret, the grand master plan, the like secret sauce. It's not perfect timing. It's not thinking of all those scenarios. It's just doing the one thing with absolute focus. And then once it's completed, you move on to the next one. It's really that simple, And here's what happens when you're just starting to do stuff. Even if you mess up, it's irrelevant. You learn things that you would have never learned just thinking about them. You'll discover problems you never would have seen coming. And you'll find opportunities you never would have noticed from your planning phase. Plus, you start learning what actually works instead of just guessing. Your brain, it's really great at a lot of things, but it sucks at predicting how the real world is going to respond to your actions, not the one you make up in your brain, because you're going to be able to see them in million scenarios and none of them end up happening. That's wasted brain power. All right. The market itself, it doesn't care about your detailed analysis. Your body doesn't care about your perfect workout plan. And your relationship doesn't get better because you thought really hard about some shit. They get better when you actually do something. Even if that something's pretty rough at first, even if you screw it up, even if it's not the best approach, because doing stuff teaches you things that thinking can never, right? I remember David Goggins, he had this saying, in the world, there's a lot of theorists and practitioners, or sorry, a lot of theorists, and he's one of the few practitioners. All these people theorizing what would happen if you run this far, theorizing of what would happen if you push your body this far, all these theories about the proper workout, how the proper nutrition, he just does it. He's a practitioner. He puts things into action and finds out far more gold nuggets of wisdom through practice than theory ever could, right? So for example, it's like the guy who starts a mediocre business learns more about business in 6 months than the guy who spends 2 years studying entrepreneurship. And the guy who goes to the gym inconsistently gets stronger than the guy who designs the perfect program but never starts, right? Random action also isn't enough. You need to be systematic about it. You need discipline. And most people have no clue if they're actually disciplined because they're not tracking anything that actually matters, right? Discipline is about feeling motivated. It's not about having like perfect habits either. It's about consistently doing stuff, going towards a certain specific direction, even when you don't feel like doing that shit, almost like a robot. That's discipline. But until you pick something to track, something that's important to you, something that actually matters, you have no way of knowing if you're disciplined or just keeping yourself busy. All right. Maybe it's like how many times you hit the gym per week. Maybe it's how many sales calls you make. Maybe it's how many pages you write of whatever story you're writing, or how many real conversations you have with your partner. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You have to track some of this shit, because if you track it, you actually do it. Right? Most guys avoid tracking because they're scared of what they'll find out. They'd rather pretend they're getting somewhere than admit that they're mostly just thinking about getting somewhere. And here's what I noticed. Everything good in life happens when you're off the couch doing stuff in the real world. Absolutely everything. I put my heart and soul into that statement. I'm dead serious. Your career moves forward when you take action. Your relationships get better when you take action. Your health will improve when you take action. Money grows when you take action, right? Thinking is important for figuring out direction. I'll admit, yeah, sure. But thinking without doing anything is just expensive daydreaming, guys. Waste of fucking time. The guys who actually make things happen aren't necessarily the smartest. They're not better than you. They're not gifted. They're just the ones who care more about doing stuff than having the perfect plan. They know that doing something okay every day beats having an amazing plan you never use. Right? They figured out that confidence comes from actually doing stuff, not just thinking about it. You can't plan your way to being good at something. You have to just practice your way there, right? So what is it going to take to make you care more about doing and planning stuff? I don't know. Like, honestly, that's something you have to dig deep for. Maybe you need to set a deadline that actually has some consequences for you. Maybe you need to tell people what you're going to do so you'll be embarrassed if you don't do it, just like we were mentioning earlier. Maybe you need to start tracking something that matters and face reality of how you're actually performing. Whatever it takes, you need to be taking action to feel more important than having the perfect plan, okay? Because while you're busy being smart about why you can't start, someone else is already building the life you're still planning on building. That's maddening. Life doesn't give a shit about how smart you are, guys. It doesn't care about your fucking potential. It doesn't care about your plans or your intentions or your perfect fucking timing. It's all irrelevant. Life only pays attention to people who show up consistently and do the work, even when the work isn't perfect, okay? Rewind that in your brain. Even when the work isn't perfect, life will still reward you. Action. Remind yourself. Customers buy from businesses that actually exist, not the ones still in development. Your body rewards the workouts you actually do, not the ones you're planning to do tomorrow. And your relationships get better from conversations you actually have, not the ones you think about having. Life only pays attention to what you actually do. Everything else is just talking. Fucking worthless. Stop thinking your way out of the life you want and start doing your way into it, one messy step at a time. Right? Because while perfect action might be better than messy action is still way fucking better than doing nothing at all. And that's the difference between people who make things happen and people who get really good at explaining why they haven't made things happen yet. And with that, I'll open it up to you guys. Thoughts?
Yeah, I've got some thoughts on that.
Jump right in.
Well, there's a couple different things. I don't know if I'm alone in this or if any of you guys also experience this or have experienced this. But one thing I've noticed about myself that seems to be a roadblock or a challenge is if you have a really vivid imagination, like a really vivid one, you can close your eyes and you can make something real almost. It feels like it can be a strength but it can also be a huge weakness because if you can make something so real in your mind, if you retreat and basically implode inwards and you're living in this world you're creating in your mind.
Fantasy. Hmm. Daydreaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you if you have that we'll call it a strength or capability, if you have that capability to make something feel so real when you're imagining it, it's dangerous because you can make anything happen the way you want it to happen, and you don't have to experience any of the discomfort, any of the uh I'm glad you used a certain word a little bit ago, the mess. You don't have to deal with any of that. It's tidy. It's tidy. It's less painful as well. Well, relatively painless. You don't have to go through any pain. You can
Yeah.
just create that experience or
Daydreaming.
that world in your mind.
Exactly.
But it's a
Yeah.
trap though, because maybe you love the stuff that you can think of and you say, one day I can make that a reality. And day after day, you fall prey to that saying, someday, someday this will be real and not just feel real. But that day never comes without the action.
Yeah. It's a dangerous place to be when you don't make any moves physically and you're just daydreaming all day. And then you get the dopamine because you're daydreaming of success. You're daydreaming of it working. Maybe you're even fantasizing about it failing and then you coming back and fixing it. And, but again, it's all a fantasy. It's a delusion. It's a delusion when you don't put it into action. So if all you do is sit in the delusion, then you'll never achieve anything. Now, it stops being a delusion when your plans come into fruition in the real world. So, for example, you're saying, like, I want to record videos, make this, do that. The fact that you already started recording, you bought the camera, all that stuff, it's progress, day by day, step by
Oh,
step. Hmm.
that was a very painful process to even get that far for me,
Yeah, but
which is
progress
embarrassing to say, but
nonetheless, but would be delusional if you gave up at any point in time or you delay the final product, which is your first video, because now you're daydreaming of the perfect XYZ. Like your brain is good at making those excuses. You don't need you just got Jeremy here said he would look at your video and help you edit. I'm sure for the heaviest part of your editing will literally be the first 30 to 45 seconds, which he would gladly try to help you with, right? It wouldn't even be an issue whatsoever. He'd just be like, bro, let me help you with this. It's going to take me like 10 minutes and I'll get it looking exactly how you want it. And boom, that's it. The rest is just a story with basic cuts, super basic. So it's like now you even have somebody that's willing to offer their services and help you out at least. And it's like the pressure is now adding up. Now the pressure adds up. It's like, what's your excuse now that your brain could possibly make? Well, now I need extra scenes. Well, now I need something like, you have to stop that shit. I'm sure there's a bunch of camera roll over the years that you have. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit that you could possibly use. With some editing magic and some music, you can make any boring scene look good. So it's like technically, if you wanted to, you probably have enough shit to post right now for the first 30-second intro that hooks people. It doesn't have to be 30 seconds. It'd be like 20 seconds. That's hardly anything, bro. You could stitch together 30 fucking seconds over the years of footage in all over Los Angeles that you've recorded to some high intensity.
oh, dude, I've only been here
intro.
for a year, and I've barely been able to do anything here. So I don't have anything recorded.
You could even get B-roll, like from those like you ripped footage off of YouTube of people flying 4K drones in Hollywood, in the streets of LA, footage of other people walking, whatever, to just get enough footage for yourself. Because you only need a few instances that show you doing something or recorded from your camera. The rest of it could just be, like stock footage, So you look.
Oh
if
yeah,
you
I've already started looking into that.
There you go. If you really, really wanted it, trust me, it's done. It's ready.
Yeah, and using the word mess, that's another point that I was going to bring up. Was again, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't have the easiest childhood or upbringing. Certainly not the hardest, but not the easiest. And with everything that I saw around me that tore my family apart and turned everything dysfunctional and changed the people I thought I knew into completely different, darker, more fucked up versions. Uh, I grew accustomed to viewing any type of so-called mess in life or messy period in life as a massive negative. It's a sign that you're not doing well in life if anything is messy whatsoever. At first, it started small, but I became so afraid of the same thing happening to me that was happening to them that I developed this very extreme aversion to anything feeling messy, anything feeling imperfect. And for a long time, it really worked. I was a straight A student, honors. People were offering me things for going to specialized schooling. Uh, and one day, I just broke. It was, I guess, so much pressure that I was putting on myself in such an unhealthy way. I just fucking snapped. But that way of thinking still remains. That aversion to life's mess. And the thing is, if you're gonna go anywhere, life is gonna get messy.
Life is a mess, bro, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I wanted to touch base on for the topic of, you know, action, and I think is probably more obvious today than ever, is I think so many people, men in particular, have and sometimes at no fault of their own, you know, through culture or whatever, have like really fallen behind. So all it really takes is a little bit of action, and you can stick out so easy these days.
I agree with that big time. Competition is almost non-existent. We live in a very soft world, and doing just the bare minimum puts you above like 99% of people. Honestly, shocking.
I think the one of the things like you mentioned, like, oh, think about it too much, blah blah blah. That's analysis through paralysis, and people who do that tend to paralyze themselves from making decisions, and that's why they tend to not be able to get things done, or maybe at a later time than what they think they would, because they spend too much time thinking about it versus doing it, and they freak out. Well, what if it doesn't do this? What if it doesn't do that? Blah blah blah, instead of actually just doing it and then deal with the issues as they come up. And so, like when I was in the Marine Corps, I had I'd do a test for one of the engines on the aircraft, and I kept thinking about all the second and third order consequences of things that would go wrong, and I kept failing the damn test. And it's an easy test. I just kept overthinking it, and then finally I had a staff sergeant, and he was like, he pulled me to the side, pulled out the test, and it's like, okay, you keep failing this test. What the hell? Because this is easy. And I was like, it is easy. I don't understand why I keep failing it. So we went over the questions, and he was like, I was like, okay, the answer, it goes, what's this answer? And I told him, and he's like, what's this answer? And I told him, and I'm like, but this and that, and this is why the answer could be wrong. He goes, no. Answer the fucking question. What is this answer? And then that taught me, like, hey, don't think about shit too much sometimes. Just answer the question or do the thing. Because you can paralyze yourself by thinking way too much.
The comparison I was,
and that's an issue Brian has, is he thinks too much. He's like, stop thinking about it, just do it. Like, okay, this is what I got. All right, this is my 30 seconds. It's not perfect, but hey, let's get this done. Go throw it out there, and then be as it may.
yeah.
People will offer feedback, and what you may think is not perfect to someone else, or maybe to most of people who watch the video, is just fine. Perfect for them. Video works. They watched it. They liked it. They subbed, and then now they're waiting for you to put out the next thing, right? It doesn't, like, what's perfect in someone's mind, most people don't really care or think of as perfect, because they have other things that they think that would be perfect.
Yeah, we live in the AI slop era. Believe me, standards are in the gutter.
Yep.
Some of the AI
I have this
slop
issue
is
too
up.
when I do shit, and then I realize no one else fucking cares. Why am I thinking about it so hard?
Yeah.
If you're so stuck in that one way of being, though, making that switch in your brain to, good enough is good enough. And as for the rest, who cares? Just do it.
Well, doom the alternative.
It's so hard to make that switch. And even hearing stuff from people who are way plugged into what you're trying to get into than you are, and they say, look, the bar is low. So even just doing some action and some effort is already 99% percent, you're already above 99% of the rest. Hearing that is one thing, but when you're hearing that, but you're also looking at everything and you're thinking, okay, but there's already so many people who, even if their stuff is shit, whatever it is, they're already starting. That they have already started.
They're already starting.
So
They're already making money.
Yeah, bro,
yeah, so
what's your
you feel
alternative?
like
But do the daydreaming thing and make it work for you. What's your alternative? Be poor forever? Go fucking drop off applications for some shit jobs you don't want to do, or release the half-baked video and just fucking move on to the next one. Your alternative is keep being poor, keep struggling, keep having to barely scrape on by, while some dude sat in his fucking car and just turned on the record button and just posted it with zero editing. Like,
Yeah.
what the you fantasize, bro. How many more weeks of this are you going to take? How many more months? How many more years can you take of running around trying to get a job? Shit's not stable, broke as fucks, scraping by 2 fucking pennies, or release the fucking video already? What's more painful, right? We have to get to a point where it's so painful for you that you post a video. Well, use your imagination in that fantasy that you got, that you go into that world in your mind and be like, okay, imagine my next life. Imagine the next 6 months of my life. If I don't post a video, I try to make shit perfect. I work on it over time. Bro, it's 6 months of struggle, 6 months of dealing with the same bullshit, 6 months of barely scraping on by. What's worse? That or just posting the fucking video, moving on to the next one, and keep the train pushing, and hopefully one of them takes off. If it does, great. If it doesn't, who gives a fuck? Your mission is to keep posting, keep getting better at your craft, and eventually it succeeds. Or be stuck in this position forever. Because what? Do you have a way out? Is there a guaranteed way out where you're at right now? Like, these jobs are going to, this is the, the fucking golden handcuffs. One of these jobs are going to provide you with a sick fucking salary and a pension, and you're going to retire fat. No, they're just jobs to make ends meet for the moment. Okay, then. So start to make that imagination go to work for you. What the fuck's the next year going to look like? Bro, 12 months from now, where are you going to be? If you don't post these videos, we know exactly where you'll be, right? Not hard to take yourself into that kind of future. So then it's like, okay, then the anger starts to wash over you. Well, fuck, dude, I got to do something. And that something is posting the video and posting more. Because I could tell you right now, I could split you apart into 2 people. I could clone you. And we got one Brian that literally is your position, right? Exactly you. And then I'll take another Brian and he posts a half-baked video today, half-baked video a week from now. And then he repeats this process every single fucking week. One video comes out and eventually he's able to bring production down to 2 videos a week. And then he's posting and posting. And in 12 months of one Brian perfecting a video and, the scene's not perfect. And he's got maybe 1 video out, maybe 3 videos out total for the year, 6 videos. I don't give a fuck what it is. Versus the Brian that just posted some half-baked shit and starts building an audience just off his charisma and just his ability to speak. And he's young and he's good looking and he doesn't look like a fucking weirdo, have weird quirks on camera. You know what I mean? And he builds an audience. He relates to the people, tells his story. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be authentic. And you already have the authentic part. It's your story. It's real. It actually happened. It's not like some shit you didn't make a character of, bro. You are the character. You're the person that you're talking about. So it's like, okay, give me 12 months of that guy and 12 months of you. 12 months of that guy could be fucking potentially never having to work another job again because YouTube now funds his life and he changed his life completely. And now he's on a different trajectory in his own life. Or, yeah, bro, I got this job and I work 8-hour shifts and I lost some of the time I had, to go do this, whatever, shoot this video here, and I'm fucking exhausted. And then, I had to take on a second job too later because, so I wanted to start saving some money. And yeah, over the weekend, I'll get to that one, project. And all right, bro, cool story. Your life will be the same a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. We know what's going to happen. But if you don't use your imagination to help put the fear in you, and nobody here could help you. Nobody. This has to come from deep within. I started my business for the same as you, daydreaming, where my life would be like after college. My fucking degree is useless. I don't want to be a cuck in a cubicle. I don't want to have a boss. I don't want, to be financially tied to a company, to answer to somebody for the rest of my fucking life, be a good little worker bee, to clock in and clock out like a good little bitch, to get used for pennies on the dollar, to get fucked by the IRS, to never, ever, ever be able to plan for something, last minute, like going on a trip, always have to be stuck in some place, and always knowing that I make a good 1,500 a week forever for the rest of my fucking life, every day, consistent 1,000, 1,000. And if I ever wanted a big purchase, I'd have to calculate how many weeks of my fucking life I'd have to give up in order to get the thing I wanted, right? Fuck that. That's a nightmare, isn't it? And so that was the thing that I was replaying over in my mind, bro. I replayed the nightmare of a mediocre life. And that's what sprung me into action for like, fuck this. Even failing a business is better than the mediocre trap. If I fail, oh well, I tried. Guess I'm stuck doing the mediocre life trap. At least I gave it a shot. And if I failed again, if that need is so strong, I'll just try another business. There has to be another way, bro. I don't care what business it is, selling knives door to door, or fucking working, starting my own business, or I got to figure something out. Anything is better than this clock in, clock out bullshit, right? So eventually you find a fucking escape hatch. But until you get to that point, you start use your mind for you to help you build the emotional drive to make the first step. You're going to replay the loop you are in life over and over again. So I had enough. I hit my quote psychological rock bottom, and I made a choice, an action that changed my life. You're in the same exact position right now. Same exact one.
I released my first video 2 days ago. I
Nice.
made my first YouTube channel. It's called Drunk Bum Traveling. And
What is it called?
Drunk Bum Traveling. So I'm basically just traveling around in the city, just taking like a walking tour. It's like my first video was around 15 minutes, I would say, and that's it actually. So yeah, it's kind of a shitty video. I only had like 5 viewers, I think, and no followers. But
5
yeah.
viewers.
Hey,
There you go.
See,
That's,
see that? He's already ahead
That's
of you.
further
What are
along
you
than
gonna do
me.
about it?
Exactly.
I'm sorry?
He's
Exactly.
already ahead of you. What are you gonna do about it, Brian?
Yeah. 5 years, bro.
Well, I'm going to Santa Monica tomorrow anyway. I can record some be-real shit there, and on the way back, intentionally take the scenic route and record some more be-real stuff, and then combine that with royalty-free stuff that I can find.
And done. There you go.
And yeah, that's the other funny thing is life, it seems, has sent me several things to help me along, and I haven't fully utilized those things that life seems to have sent me. Like there's a couple that I met who's very successful with their social media stuff, and they said that I totally should get into it, and that after talking with me a little bit, they said it would I would do very well, and they gave me their contact info, and they offered to help me along.
You
And
can't ask for more, bro. Another example, you can't, literally, I have my own successful YouTube channel. I'm telling you, you would make it. The other couple has successful social media. They're telling you, you can make it. You got a dude here that does editing. He'll tell you he'll help you out. At what point are you tired of being fucking broken and stuck in the same position? That's really what it is. That's just the grand question about. You're not tired yet. Because obviously you're not willing to do whatever it takes to put that video out. Whatever it fucking takes.
I don't know about that though. This is something I was going to ask you guys about. And again, I don't know if anybody else has been experiencing this, but I don't know if the fear thing, maybe it would work for me. Maybe I just need to try a different angle. But, something that I had brought up, I mean, probably months ago at this point in one of these chats was I'm too used to the discomfort, and I'm too used to the unhappiness, like the discomfort and the unhappiness and all of that is comfortable to me. That's one of the things that's keeping me stuck, I feel like. The devil, basically. And that's another thing that you maybe just tell yourself to stop you from taking the action. Maybe it's all the just intense fear of the mess and the imperfection.
There you go. The intense fear, bro. The coping is like, oh, I'm just comfortable being uncomfortable in this back against the wall situation where I'm fucking on my last dollar. That's cope bullshit. You know it's coping. You would rather pick the life where you wake up and you're living your dream, where your channel's successful, whatever other businesses are successful, you're living your life. That you would 10 out of 10 pick that life. But you're trying to convince yourself, right? Intelligent people convincing themselves where they're at is actually what they prefer. Fuck no, it isn't.
Oh no, it's not what I prefer. Most
Or you're
definitely
used to.
not. I mean,
Whatever language you want to use. I'm used to. I'm comfortable with it. Yeah.
I've tried Control Alt deleting twice. It's no, this life is not working for me.
All right then.
Um,
So why cope? My question would be like, why even say something like, well, I'm used to being uncomfortable. Clearly you're not, bro. Control delete twice. Clearly you're not. You are not in a place where you like to be at all. So why put yourself through that and go another 12 months when the other side of it is releasing some fucking videos twice a week? If you could get down to that production cycle once a
well,
week.
I guess that's maybe another trap that intelligent people fall into is once they get to the point of wanting to take action, they tell themselves, all right, well, clearly there's some things that I need to fix. What are those things? And you start trying to pick yourself apart on those things you need
Overthinking.
to
Yeah.
improve on. But again,
Overthinking it.
that's just more it's
Exactly.
just more of the same shit.
Overthinking. You have to check your brain. Okay, here's all the things I need to fix first. This has to come first. And then once this comes, I'll do that. And then, okay, we'll wait and get this. Fuck, stop thinking. Stop thinking. Literally, you have to remind your brain to stop thinking. What's your primary objective? Making a video. How are you going to achieve it? You need these scenes. Storyline script already written, ready to rock. What's your objective? Post a video. Okay, what is missing? A few scenes for the beginning. Okay, what tools do you have? You already have an editor that's willing to help you. You already have people with social media that's willing to help you. Okay, what's the objective? Make the video. Stop overthinking. What do you need? A couple extra scenes. What's the objective? Post the fucking video. That's it, bro. Just keep repeating that. Oh, but I need post the fucking video. What's the objective? Post the video. What's the objective? Brain keeps coming back. This is why I can't. But I need post the fucking video. What's the objective? The more your brain starts thinking and taking over, the more you shut it the fuck up by repeating out loud, what's the objective? Posting the video. Put a fucking hard date on it. You want to know how to put pressure on yourself to make it happen? Hard date right now. Tell everybody the video will be done by when. Don't bullshit. Hard fucking date. Look at the calendar and give us the day, and we'll hold you to it. Hard date, bro. That's the hardest pressure you could put on yourself. There's no escaping that because we're going to go back on the chat day of or day after, whenever the next chat falls. And we're going to say, Brian, present us the fucking video. End of story. That's pressure for you. If you really want us to hold you accountable for that and pressure you, give us a date and we'll play the video together, watch it, critique it, and be like, cool, ready to rock, bro. Post the video. What's the objective?
Let me ask you this. Do you have like an intro for your videos yet? Anything like that?
A name for my video?
An intro. Do you have an intro?
It's like an intro. It's like a stinger, kind of.
No. Well, sort of. I mean, the name of my channel is just my name. There's some other stuff that I want to do, but that would be a little later down the line when I've already achieved a little bit of success. I can't really pull some of that stuff off with having no funding and no followers, so for,
I'll take a look. I'll take a look at your channel, and if maybe I can squeeze out something for you. I'm not going to charge you or anything. It's just sometimes I'm just antsy to get my hands on some work myself. So
there you go.
Well, I mean the one name that kept coming back to me thinking about how life had crashed down, and then I basically had enough and started doing this. I was gonna call it Ground Zero.
That works. That works. Give us a date. Don't overthink it. Give us a date.
July 15th.
July 15th. Done. Mark it, boys. July 15th. I may or may not be on because I'll be probably flying to Arizona. But anyways, when I get back on after the fucking plane fight, we're gonna watch it. July 15th. There you go. No later than that is so much time, bro. I would have fucking told your ass by next weekend. Okay. July 15th it is.
The only reason I gave myself longer was because I'm going to actually before I even logged onto this, I told myself I was going to text that couple at some point today to ask them if we could get together sometime and talk shop. And I gave myself a little bit extra time just in case they're out of town or busy, because sometimes they are out of town.
Cool. July 15th. Done. Hard date.
And message me on school or whatever, and then with like a link to your channel, then I'll just start doing a little bit of digging myself.
I'll do that, man. I appreciate that. I already went across all the different platforms, and made sure that my username I had it locked down, so it's the same across all platforms. I already took that step for both my personal channel and the AI animation one. I already locked all of that down, and I've made a lot of progress with the AI generated stuff too.
Nice.
But I'm not done with it yet.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, am I the only one here that is like super bogged down by all the overthinking and being in my own head?
I don't allow myself to do that anymore.
Yeah, we all ran through that issue once or twice in a very recent time myself. I got into my own head, overthinking shit. There's somebody else in here earlier. They left Luis Waskar. He was the same shit. He was just overthinking on some things in life and then helped him stop. And now he's on a right trajectory. So it's not a problem that's uncommon. It's just sometimes it hits you in different phases of your life, particularly when you're going through stress or back up against the wall or a major life decision is happening. That's when guys get uncomfortable and start overthinking things because you want things to go right, or there's a lot riding on it. The risk is something that causes people to overthink. But yeah, I overcame a lot of that issues personally with exactly the story I told you. I go into my head. I visualize what my life will be like. Visualization, like, we've covered plenty of times, is absolutely key. And I visualize the worst outcome if I choose to continue doing what I do and miss out on the opportunity I may have by even attempting a half-baked idea. That pain is greater always for me than the half-baked idea, putting that into action. And yeah, I have something under the hood for you guys that I've been working on, and it's launching soon. And hopefully within the next month or so, we have some hard data on reproducing this kind of thing. So I don't want to spoil it just yet or jinx it, but I've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So hopefully I could teach you guys to do it as well. That might be something we could get into in the future. So fingers crossed. But again, that was another idea. I can't say what it is just yet, but let's just say I was talking myself out of it, thought it was stupid, gave myself excuses why I didn't have time to do this thing, and that I seen so many other people succeed at doing it. And I was like, yeah, but if I had more time, but I'm not sure, will the community like it or not? Or can it be reproducible? Million excuses, million fucking excuses. Don't know till I try. And sure enough, I started investing in it significantly, and here we go. So we'll see. Give it like 30 days and we'll find out. But even if it fails, I'll share it with you guys. So it doesn't matter. But at least I learned a lot in the process, and I'll apply it in the future to maybe something else. But you're not alone in the feeling. It's just stick to the mission. Put the video out. What date? July 15th. What's the mission? Video. Post it. Use the tools around you, right? Your brain starts to overthink, bro. The moment you get off this call, your brain will overthink. Even something simple like calling that couple, your brain's going to overthink. I don't know. Should I, do I have anything worth talking about? What questions should I ask them? Call them. Hey, I'm interested in talking shop. I just want to run some things by you. I don't even know where to start. I was hoping you could help. That's it, dude. It's that simple, but the brain, I need to have the perfect question. Blah, 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 blah. Make up any excuse you want. Just remember the Brian in 12 months from now, what he's going to look like if you don't do all this shit. It's the only
Same
thing
as today.
Do. Yep, exactly. And that's the only pain you could really use to push through all this shit. That's all it is, bro. We're motivated by pain or fear, Pick a demon to help push you through the stagnation. It doesn't have to be rainbow and sunshine. You don't have to wake up in the morning fucking motivated, bro, ready to rock, with the energy of Mr. Beast or the fucking like discipline and fire that Goggins had. No. But you do need to be afraid of something potentially. You do need to worst case scenario yourself, right? Agonize over the potential mediocrity you could be living. Yeah. So pick what emotion you want to use, the dread, the fear, the anger, the whatever it is that can help guide you along your path. These aren't negative emotions. It just takes a little extra to channel them properly. Most guys channel them in a negative fashion, so it stops them dead in their tracks. But I feed off negative emotion myself. I believe, man has a dual nature, positive and negative, in sense of like, not everything's happy. You can't be motivated by all the good things in life and the good feelings. Sometimes it's the shitty things that push you through a plateau. Sometimes it is the worst fucking memories, the pain, the fear of repeating something, or the pain that you felt from an experience that pushes you through. I harness that shit all the time. It's a great dark well of energy that can make you overcome almost every single fucking barrier you put up in front of you. It's not something that holds you back.
For overcoming those barriers, do you feel like, or do you think that it's a requirement to have massive stores of self-assuredness and confidence?
Zero. I didn't have
Because
any
I think
confidence.
that ties into...
Zero, bro. I had zero confidence in doing any of the shit you see doing. I just deluded myself into thinking it would work because my alternative was failure, and I couldn't stand a life of mediocrity. I couldn't stand being broke, potentially homeless. When I started my business, my plan B, if I failed, was being fucking homeless. People think I'm joking, but if my business failed, I failed at life. I invested every penny I ever had, and I would have ended up fucking homeless, significantly in debt, and had to start life over from scratch, minus actually, in debt. At the age of 27, I was banking everything. I couldn't fail. So I wasn't even thinking about what would happen if you fail. It wasn't even, at that point in my mind, it was like, whatever problem comes up, I have to solve it because I don't have a choice. I don't even have a choice to think about failure. I already know what happens if I fail. It's already been thought out. I end up homeless under a bridge. We know where that's leading to. So the pain of that, the fear, bro, was so great that I didn't give a fuck what problem happened. It had to get solved one way or another. I don't give a fuck. There must be a solution because it's better than the bridge. Like, that's where you have to mentally place yourself. Fuck the confidence. Fuck the self-assuredness. Fuck all the rest of that shit. That woo-woo, I feel good, I must feel great about what I'm doing. Bullshit, bro. You're never going to feel great. Even till this day, even when you have 1 million followers, subs, views in the million, it doesn't matter. You won't feel good about anything you put out. You're always going to doubt yourself. But the point is, it gets slightly easier when you have some feedback that you're succeeding in what you're doing. Like, okay, cool, I got some views on this video. That's great. I'm headed in the right direction. Slightly less anxiety about, performing and you being on the right path. And, that's like a proof of concept, sort of, that reinforces the success you're having, right? The numbers do reinforce the direction you're taking. But in the beginning, when you take the first step, absolutely zero confidence. I was my own worst enemy. I just had to push through to extreme fear of what was on the other side if I didn't. And I was like, fuck it. I can't do another day where my boss shits on me, where I come home absolutely dirty and tired and change 7 shirts and full of fucking cement and dust and paint, and my body's wrecked and I don't even have the energy to go to the gym, and I'm getting paid pennies on the dollar, and I'm broke living with my parents. And what the fuck kind of life is this? How much more, bro, can a human being
I'm on the
take?
verge of being homeless.